Hi, I'm Chris Haedrich, and I'm part of the commercial real estate team here at Haedrich Company Commercial Real Estate in Redding, California. Today's informational video will be touching on commercial real estate leases, and specifically those lease types that are most commonly seen in the Northern California market. The title of this video is Gross versus Triple Net Leases. While searching for new space for your business or renegotiating your existing lease, it is important to know what lease or rent basis is being quoted so you can fully understand your financial responsibilities as a tenant. There are several lease types that are relatively standard for commercial real estate, and you may have heard of a few in your area, such as gross leases, modified gross leases, triple net leases, full service leases, or even percentage leases, to name a few. However, if you're looking for space around Northern California, the two most common lease types you will encounter are modified gross or triple net. So what's the difference between these two rent variations, and what are your responsibilities as a tenant? Modified gross rent, often called gross rent in Northern California, refers to a rental rate where the tenant pays the base rent for a space and then pays for tenant utilities, tenant janitorial services, and minor interior tenant maintenance, such as light bulb replacement or air filter replacement, etc. The landlord is then responsible for paying for all property taxes, property insurance, and common area maintenance. As a side note, common area maintenance is often referred to as CAM fees and refers to maintenance of any common restrooms, elevators, lobbies, parking lots, and so forth. So to sum it up, with a modified gross rent, the tenant pays a base rent plus the tenant-specific expenses of utilities, janitorial service, and minor interior maintenance. The landlord then takes care of everything else out of the base rent. So what about a triple net lease? And why do they appear to be cheaper? Triple net rent, often called net rent, net, or NNN, refers to a rental rate where the tenant pays a base rent for a space, pays tenant utilities, tenant janitorial service, and interior maintenance, and then pays a proportional share of the three most common property expenses, one being property taxes, two, property insurance, and three, common area maintenance, hence the name triple net expenses. So the reason why triple net rent is lower than modified gross rent is because the tenant is directly responsible for more property expenses, which are directly paid by the landlord in a modified gross basis. Oftentimes we hear tenants ask, why would I agree to more expenses? I don't want a triple net lease. But technically, if both rental types are quoted for the same building, the total cost to the tenant should theoretically be the same. And there are pros and cons for both. Here's an example of both lease types in the same property. Let's assume you're interested in 1,000 square feet in Building A, and the landlord gives you a choice of modified gross rent or triple net rent. Which should you choose? Here's the breakdown. On a gross rent basis, the landlord offers you $1 per square foot per month. After that, you'll pay your tenant expenses of utilities, janitorial service, and interior maintenance. Therefore, your rent will be $1,000 per month plus your tenant expenses. And on a triple net basis, the landlord offers you 65 cents per square foot per month. After that, you'll pay your proportional share of the three major property expenses or triple net expenses. In this case, the landlord says they've been about 35 cents per square foot per month. Therefore, your total rent becomes about $1,000 per month plus your tenant expenses of utilities, janitorial service, and interior maintenance. Theoretically, they cost the same. The total rent paid per month should be about the same in both scenarios. But when marketing this property, 65 cents per square foot may look more enticing than $1 per square foot. So while you're looking for commercial space, always make sure to ask up front if the rent being quoted is modified gross or triple net. If you have further questions about this informational video or any others, feel free to call our office at 530-221-1127 or email me at chris@haedrich.com. Your questions and information will always remain confidential, and we're happy to help. And thank you for watching this portion of the informational video series at Haedrich & Company Commercial Real Estate, where we build our success on yours.